How young is too young to learn the in and outs of sex? You see what I did there? The discussion we're talking about, the protests that have been happening, were primarily started by religious groups, religious people. I don't think an ideology should hold a child back from learning about the real world, especially when the real world is such a big and scary place for everybody. Now what's happening is in Toronto, Canada, parents are protesting, and conveniently students are protesting, that the new sexual education curriculum in Ontario schools is a little bit too progressive, maybe a little bit too vulgar for the kids that are being taught these things. When I look at the curriculum myself, I look at how I was raised, I look at how knowing these things at a certain age would have helped me more so. I mean, I was open with my parents were open with me. I was taught about sex at a young age because I was unfortunate enough to have walked in on them having sex. This helped me grow and helped me progress and helped me understand what was happening with my body. And I'm truly appreciative of my parents being so open with me as I was growing up. Now, I'm going to lay out the curriculum for you here. Grade 1, the kids will be taught genitalia and consent. So basically they'll learn the difference between a penis and a vagina, and they will be learning about consent, which I think is amazing that they're teaching. They want to teach this to kids that are 6, 7 that are very, very susceptible to predators. Teaching them about consent, teaching them about what a penis and a vagina is and what is good and bad when it comes to a penis and vagina and what you should and should not do with a penis and vagina at that age is a wise thing. Grade 3, gender identity, homosexuality, and how gender is a changeable social construct. Now in grade 3, you're about 8, 9 years old, give or take. You may potentially be, especially in these days with the internet, television shows portraying sex all the time, the fact that the gay community and the transgender community are more prevalent in everyday life. This is something that I think these kids could be starting to be confused about. Grade 3 might be a little bit too early for this, but I think at that age, you're starting to feel, should I be playing with dolls? Should I be playing with G.I. Joes? Grade 4, romantic dating and explaining the changing in their feelings that they'll evidently have for people of the same sex, people of the opposite sex. This is when I started dating. My first girlfriend was in grade 4, 9 years old, and I knew that it was okay to want to be more than friends with this girl because I was taught by my parents that these feelings are natural. These are feelings you're going to have throughout life. I completely agree with teaching them about romantic dating and the feelings you're going to feel for people in grade 4. Grade 6, masturbation. Now this is a touchy one. Yeah, a lot of people probably feel weird that you're going to be teaching an 11, 12-year-old kid about masturbation. But as a boy, I was masturbating at 11 years old, at 10 years old. I knew what masturbation was, again, because my parents were so open with me and taught me about the changes and the feelings I was having in my body. But the schools weren't teaching it. I think at that point, when you're about to go into junior high for some places, depending how your schooling system works, this is a point in time where masturbation is a thing, and it's something that you need to realize you are going to want to do. Grade 7, sexual pleasure, anal, oral sex practices, and the dangers of STD spread through both of these. I think this one might be a little early. I think this one, and technically the last one, should be at the same grade. Maybe skip grade 7 and teach all this in grade 8. 13, just about to turn 14 years old, about to head into high school. You're gonna have to realize, there might be an older boy at a party that's gonna tell a girl that it's okay to give a blowjob. You're not gonna get an STD, when in reality, it is just as easy to get an STD through a blowjob as it is through any other form of sex. This is something that I personally think, just before high school, these kids should learn, because high school is where a lot of the sexual activity is really going to start to rise. Grade 8, sexual activity planning, preparing for sex, having contraceptives on hand or available. Yeah, 13, almost 14 years old. These kids should be knowing that if they need a condom, they can ask their parents to get one, and to have the knowledge that this is something that they shouldn't be scared to discuss, they shouldn't be scared to ask for, I think is a wise thing that the school is doing. So basically that's the curriculum laid out. grade 1 through grade 8, different stages, all being taught that abstinence is still key. That is still the primary thing that is being taught. They are also opening the world to things that will be readily available to these kids on a daily basis. With the internet, social media, all this stuff will be thrown in kids' faces growing up, especially if nobody really pays attention to what they're doing online. So I think that this is a wise curriculum. I think it should stay, and I think the parents that are pulling their kids out of school and protesting this are kind of missing the point and kind of missing the fact that we live in a very progressive world and a very open world, and they should let their kids learn this stuff. There's another fact I must say is that the government has allowed parents to not let their kids take these courses. So protesting this is kind of pointless. You have the right to say, no, I don't want my kid in this class. Now, if I have any parents that are viewing, let me know your points. If I have any single people that grew up maybe confused or grew up as sexually progressive as I was, let me know below. I think this is a good discussion, and I think it needs to be talked about.